everyone, and welcome to this particular video where we share 1 or 2 tips on how you can prepare for your speech contest. Now think about it. If, let's say, tomorrow is your speech contest, or maybe in just a few moments' time it's going to be your speech contest, what exactly can you do to help you prepare better for that speech contest? And especially if you feel nervous about it, what can you do? Now, there are 2 things I'd like to share with you in this particular video, and if you know of friends who are going to take part in a speech contest, feel free to share with them as well. Now, tip number 1 is that if you kind of consider basketball, swimming, singing, they do have, participants who participate in those activities, they do have warm-up exercises as well. Now, in public speaking, tip number 1, it's to engage in warm-up exercises. So what are some warm-up exercises that you can participate in? First, when it comes to vocal variety, pronunciation, enunciation, I always recommend that my speech contestants, as a warm-up exercise, to warm up with tongue twisters. For example, you have the Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Now, when you say that, you can say that, you don't have to say that really quickly. You can say that at a moderate pace, about 2 to 3 words per second, but you can say it for about 5 to 10 times. That helps to train the flexibility of the tongue. Or, she sells seashells on the seashore, or by the seashore. That is also very useful and helpful for you to train the flexibility of your tongue. If you don't wish to use either of these, I would also recommend to use 6 words. New York's unique, unique, New York. Now you can say that for about 10 times, and that really helps you train the flexibility of your tongue. You find that when you engage in such warm-up exercises, you tend not to trip over words. You tend to be able to pronounce and enunciate your words clearly, and you tend to be much clearer in terms of your articulation and your diction. So that is 1. Warm up in terms of vocal variety. The second one is you can warm up in terms of your body language. What you can do is you can engage in a full rehearsal. That means for your entire speech that you're going to prepare for the speech contest, you're definitely going to have stage positioning, where you're going to stand on stage. You're going to make use of hand gestures as well. So have the full rehearsal with the stage positioning, with the hand gesture, not just by thinking about, okay, what's the line, what's going to be the starting line, what's going to be the ending line. Don't just think, say it out, act it out as well, right? So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, if you're going for a speech contest, what I would engage you to do is visualization. Visualization is a very powerful technique because you help prepare your mind and your body for the contest itself. The key is this: how do you visualize? And how do you visualize like athletes do? Before athletes, they take the plunge into the water and then they swim their 100 or 50-meter butterfly stroke. Before athletes take their 100-meter dash, they do have certain activities to help them visualize how it's going to be from the time they start till the time they finish, and of course, they will visualize in the positive. Here are a few things that you want to take note of when you perform the activity visualization. Number 1, you want to visualize things in the positive manner. Try to avoid thinking about things that could potentially go wrong. Try and visualize. Do your very best to visualize things in the positive. Visualize how the audience member is going to laugh at your punchline or punch word. Visualize how you're going to be able to move on stage seamlessly, effectively. Visualize how your audience members, they're going to be able to catch every single word. They're going to be with you. They're going to be engaged, and they're going to love your story as well as your content. So visualize things in a positive. Number 2, visualize especially the opening and the conclusion, because the opening is where you want to generate a positive first impression, and the conclusion is where you want to have and leave a lasting impression. Number 3, what you want to visualize is visualize yourself presenting. So what you should see in your mind, if you close your eyes, what you should see would be how the audience members look like, because when you are on stage, that's exactly what you're going to see. So visualize yourself as the speaker, how the audience members are going to look like. The final one, visualize using the different senses. So you can visualize how the audience is going to look like. That's a sense of sight. You can also visualize how your audience members are going to sound like, the laughter. Visualize how the room is going to feel like as well. Yes? So the more vivid you can visualize, the better the outcome. Now, feel free to apply these techniques and do let me know how these techniques panned out for you. Take care, everyone.